to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 119. I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast. We recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from the previous games from the previous day. How are you this Thursday, Ja?
I'm feeling good. I thought that you should know.
Hold on, I don't think that's the lyrics.
It's from a commercial, bro. Don't worry.
No, I know it is. I just thought you should know. That's what it is.
Oh.
You're always messing up something. I'm doing good as well. I hope everyone's having a good day. Everyone will have a good day. A lot of basketball action as we're nearing the month of May. So it's going to get tight. As we're nearing the month of May, you're going to see a lot of teams getting in, fighting for those spots, and clinching playoff berths. Speaking of that, let's go on to the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns game from last night. A game which the winner will officially clinch a playoff berth. And from the get-go, it was really the Suns that jumped out to a lead. Not too big of a lead, but a lead nonetheless. Yeah. And they really kind of rolled that lead up until, I want to say, about that third quarter.
Yes.
About that third quarter. Yeah. And there was a good job with the Clippers because the Suns never could really get out.
Yes.
Like they wanted to. The Clippers always stayed within striking distance enough that the game wasn't out of reach. And like you said, that third quarter hit, and the Clippers started to get their offense going, and they started to near closer and closer and closer. And even the start of that fourth quarter. But then midway into that fourth quarter, and also a lot of the second half, it was the Chris Paul show. My goodness, it was the Chris Paul show. Coming off of a big game against the Knicks a few nights ago, he turned it up in that second half, and he only had 3 points in the first half, 23 points in the second half. And man, he put on a performance late in that fourth quarter, along with the Suns tightening their defense and the Clippers kind of getting a little bit clumsy, and also them not rebounding and getting second chances late in that fourth quarter. And as a result, the Suns held on and beat the Clippers.
Yes, man. What a great time to be a fan of Phoenix. Like, you know.
Yes.
What I mean, finally clinches that playoff berth. They've been waiting 11 years now. 11.
Yep, 11 years.
And they finally got in. It's all because of an MVP performance by MVP caliber player in Chris Paul. Jeff Van Gundy, he alluded to something on the thing.
Jeff. Yeah, Jeff.
No, because I was about to say Stan by accident. That's the reason why. Okay. But Jeff Van Gundy, he alluded to something. He talked about a little bit about the history of the Suns in terms of what happened when Steve Nash got there and how he had the impact of turning the team that was basically talented individually but mediocre as a whole, and how the moment he came in, everything started to change with that and coaching. And that's basic. And he basically said how Chris Paul is basically having the similar impact to this team, just like how Nash did way back. And you clearly see it. He has turned his team from being, and of course, this team had the 8-0 run in the bubble, but he's turned this team from being a non-playoff team who's usually always at the bottom of the standings to now second in the Western Conference. Whether you could say, well, probably if other teams didn't get injured really or whatsoever, it probably would have been a different story. But I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. Let's be honest. Injuries could affect a lot.
Christ,
wait. Oh my God. Wait. Chill. But yes, leads them to the second seed in the Western Conference, a stacked Western Conference. And he just been doing vibes. And I just also want to give a lot of credit to the Clippers for fighting. And PG-13, man, did he ball out too? PG-13 had himself a game really good, and look, he's shown how he's having to constantly, I don't know why I have to say it, but I guess he's having to reestablish himself with Kawhi being out because people have been putting a lot of disrespect on his name. You know that. You know that a lot of people have been putting disrespect on his name.
I only wave that off because I think those people they need to watch more basketball.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what I think it comes down to. PG's a great player. I know that. You know that. And most people know that. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the Suns. Like you always have to bring people down.
I was not bringing anybody down. I'm just saying.
We gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone. Not like a Curry Luck debate. Yeah, this Phoenix Suns team have been playing great basketball, and one of the main contributors is Chris Paul. If you want to be technical and you want to be very specific, the term and the award, most valuable player, if it was technical and if we was giving it to who would actually be in terms of what those words mean, it would be Chris Paul. He's the most valuable player on this Suns team. He is more valuable to the Suns than any player is to their team, in my opinion. And I think he is proving that and he is showing that. Everything that he's done this season, the way he is leading them on and off the court, has just been sensational. And now they're a second seed.
Yeah.
And they clinched a playoff berth. The Suns, they haven't been to the playoffs since I first started watching basketball. It's been that long. The last time they were there, it was the team of Nash, Marion, Stoudemire, D'Antoni. Steve Kerr was a GM. Had
Kobe, I believe. Yeah.
Goran Dragic, who helped them when Steve Nash got hurt, and it's been a long road. It's been a long road. I mean, that team had blew up. Nash left a couple of years later. They had that one good season in 2013. We won 48 games, but because the West Conference was so stacked at that time, as it is now, they couldn't get in. Yeah. And all the struggles and all the Charles Barkley jokes on them. It's finally come to an end, at least for this season and the time being. And that's because of Chris Paul. It's because of Devin Booker. That's because of this team. That's because of Monty Williams, who's been coaching them up and he's done a great job. And it's a good time in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you alluded to it, and I love how you put it with the MVP on the technical look of the MVP, man, because Chris Paul has been the most impactful. But let's be honest, in terms of his career, he has been the most impactful for the teams he has been on. And again, we're talking about a dude who is small compared to all his NBA contemporaries. People give him a bad rep usually because don't forget that you remember when the Rondo fight happened a little bit and stuff like that, and people started coming out talking about he was a bad teammate or whatsoever, or like he wasn't the teammate that they really liked, things like that.
Blake.
Yeah, Blake and Big Baby and stuff like that and things like that. And I'm just like, well, yeah, I hate him, but yet I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't be touching playoffs if it wasn't for him. So say what you want, but his impact could always be measured in terms of is straight winning. He probably doesn't have a ring or anything. He probably has never been to the finals, but his impact is still winning. Each and every time, each and every destination he has been, from New Orleans to LA to Houston to now here. The team has had some kind of significant bump. In OKC, the team has had some kind of significant bump up from where they were before.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't deny that.
Oh, no, you can't. Like I said, credit to him. Credit to Booker, who was, of course, the star of the team. Credit to Mikal Bridges, who stepped up this year for them. And Ayton, who's kind of been still developing, still honing his own. But yeah, great win by the Suns team. And for the first time since the 2009-2010 season, the Phoenix Suns are officially back in the playoffs. All right, it's going to the earlier game of the night, a team that's fighting to get in the playoffs. The Washington Wizards hosting the defending champions, Los Angeles Lakers. And pretty much, so the Lakers, they got out early.
Yeah.
They had the momentum a little bit. But then the tide started to change a little bit going into that second quarter. The Wizards started to hit their stride. They started connecting. They started to play better. They started getting rhythm. And that really took from that second quarter. And the third quarter, the Lakers, they were still competing. But towards the end of that third quarter, the Wizards really started to put it on them. And leading into the start of that fourth quarter. And even though there was times in that fourth quarter where the Lakers cut their double-digit lead into single digits, the Wizards just kept pouring it on them, kept pouring it on and extending them. They wouldn't let up, and eventually they held on to beat this Lakers team.
Yeah. This Lakers team, they went cold. They went cold within that latter part of the third and most of the fourth, until that little bit of that spark towards the end to at least cut the lead. But you knew it was too much too late. And you know what I mean? And this Wizards team, they just had it. They just had it in that second half. You knew they had the game because the way everyone was just playing in a way, flowing. Russell and Bradley Beal, man, they said fire and ice. Fire and ice. The way that they was connecting, the way that they had their imprint on this game was amazing, especially Westbrook. Westbrook, another triple double, and now I believe he is. They said in the thing he's like 5 triple doubles away from being all time. Christ. And I hear that, and you see it, and he's been doing it for 5 straight years now. 4 straight years. I'm bugging. 4 straight years or 4 straight seasons now. And it's crazy how you hear, and it's just like certain people's play styles, it will wear out their body, so you just don't know. And it's crazy how he's been playing extremely at this level for so, and you could credit technology and stuff like that, but it's crazy how he's been playing at this extreme level for this long, and yet his body has not broken down, or if it has been, it always find a way to get extra stronger. His body not let up on him.
I'll say it, like, Russ is one of the few players that I've ever seen play at like 100% fast pace from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. It's like he does not run out of stamina. It's ridiculous. It's like he doesn't run out of energy. He's on go from the jump. I mean, man, it's just unbelievable, his play style and everything that he can do on the floor. And the stat pattern is finally getting some wins. Westbrook haters, they hate to see it.
Yes, they do hate to see it, but hey, man, this man is also an impactful guy who's also showing his true definition of being a winner, because you can see he's the main reason. Okay, of course, Bradley Beal has to be number 1, but he is 1B for the main reason why this team is having such a turnaround, especially at this second half of the season, and why they're about to, if they keep it up, they're going to be playing in a playing game.
Yeah. Important part is they have to keep it up. Keep it up. Great win by the Wizards. Despite AD's performance of 26, he had a good night, but the Wizards were able to hold on to this win and beat their defending champions, or our defending champions, Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
All right, there were some other games around the league, some good, some bad, some ugly. So let's get into it. What shall you talk about first?
The first day I'd like to talk about is the Hornets versus the Celtics. And I'm just gonna skip to the second half, because the first half it was just Celtics domination. It was Celtics domination in the first
Tatum's
half.
back, by the way.
Yeah, Tatum was back. Yeah, Tatum returned. No Kemba though, but Tatum returned, and man, it was Celtics domination in that first half. And then the second half happened, and the Hornets showing what they usually been shown, just having that fight in them, they basically start to get into their stride. They start to play more transition, like start to find ways to get to the basket more, and as a result, you start to see that big lead that the Celtics had just start to dwindle away. I felt like the Celtics took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and as a result, they basically give the Hornets a little bit of an advantage by doing that. And but as it went down, even though it was getting closer and closer, the Celtics eventually once again just put their foot on that engine and just pushed it away. You know what I mean? As a result, they was able to take this one from the Hornets.
Yep. Great bounce back wins by the Celtics team because they needed that after losing 3 straight. Also, Miami was creeping up right behind them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Miami.
Yeah. Speaking of Miami, the next game I like to talk about is the Heat versus Spurs. And this was basically a back and forth exchange. And the Heat also, of course, they had it going in the early going. And then the Spurs eventually found themselves with the lead.
Mhm.
And then just to fast forward here from the fourth quarter, it basically became like a nail biter in a way. But I felt like what gave and Miami won. Well, I felt like what gave Miami more of that advantage was because of the fact of their hustle offensively. Like, it was a lot of rather like a lot of rugged entanglement and stuff happening on the floor on the offensive end for Miami within that thing when they were battling with San Antonio. And San Antonio was doing the same thing on the other end themselves. But it just the foul calls and stuff went Miami's way too. And as a result, they was able to take the win from there.
Yep. Great win by Miami as they are trying to get out of that playing game, trying to catch the Boston Celtics.
Yeah. The next game I would like to talk about is the Pelicans versus the shorthanded Nuggets. And man, for 3 quarters, this Nuggets team did not look shorthanded at all. They just had it going throughout those 3 quarters, playing with the flow and the pace that they know how to play as. They
Mhm.
know how to play at hitting shots down the line and everything, and just playing so well. But close towards the probably you could just say from the 4 minute mark and on, it looked like the Nuggets had this game. It looked like the Nuggets had this game sealed up and wrapped up, and then next thing, tight defense, playing more with an edge. The Pelicans basically went on a small run that saw them score. I believe it was 96 to 100 something, and then they scored I think 109, 110. Next thing, the Pelicans hit big threes,
Mhm.
clamped up, forced turnovers, get into the paint. And it went from the fact of the Nuggets being up looking like they had this victory to the Pelicans now having a 2 3 point game, making it into a
Mhm.
2 3 point game thanks to Ingram, Zion Williams, Zion getting to the basket, getting fouled in ones and stuff like that. Bledsoe hitting the bank shot. And it's just a bank shot free. And it's just like it looked like the Nuggets were about to cough this up, but luckily, they were able to stay in it and win the game.
Yep. That was off of. Let's talk about that ending sequence of the Nuggets were up by 2,
Mhm.
and they had the ball. Jokic turns the ball over. The Pelicans have a chance. Um, Bledsoe gets the ball, gives to Ingram. Ingram drives, gives to Zion. Zion goes up for a dunk, and Jokic blocks it in
Mhm.
the end and seals the deal. Controversial, however, because after replay, not review, because they couldn't review it.
Yeah.
After replay, it looked like Jokic got a lot of the hand and less of the ball. But nothing you can do in that point. As a result, the Nuggets do pick up the win.
Yeah. All right. Hold on, I gotta make a phone call.
Oh my God! Please.
Hello, Chris Webber. We need you. We're getting desperate. We're getting real desperate. I need you to call back all the other legends that the Kings have ever had because we need them real badly. Yourself, Mitch Richmond, Jason Williams, Oscar Robertson, Peja Stojakovic, and just anybody who could get. I don't care how old they are. They could be 80 years old. We just need you, please. We need you badly because the Kings, they're really looking like the Queens. Like Shaq volleyed shot way back, and it's coming to fruition still. You look like the Queens right now. It's looking real bad for you guys. So just please, just get some hope because we need you. We getting desperate, badly. Thank you. All right. So as I was saying,
let's be honest. Let's not disrespect Queens like that. We should probably they look more like
princesses.
I would even disrespect princesses. Honestly, it. What the hell was that?
Look, man.
The Utah Jazz. My.
Hey, wait. Let's be honest. Let's give them a little bit because it started off real well within those first 5 minutes of the game. They were close. They kept it up, and then I don't know what the hell happened. I was like, wait. It got to a point where just looking at it, I was like, time out, why am I watching this? Like, why am I having my eyes glued to this right now? This has nothing to do with me. I said, I don't even live in Sacramento, so why am I focused on this game?
What an embarrassing performance by the Sacramento Kings. Matter of fact, they're not Kings. I'm just gonna call them Sacramento.
Yeah.
From now on, we just gonna call them Sacramento.
Yeah. Call them the Cowbells.
Honestly, Utah were up as big as 50, and they beat the Sacramento basketball team by 49. Sacramento basketball team. That is what I'm going to refer the Sacramento basketball team as. It's just a shame, especially with all that talent they have on that team.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you make this happen or whatsoever. And now this has basically took the spot of being the most embarrassing game of the season. Because we have 3 of these games happen. 3-4 of these games happen.
Well, I mean, let's see. Because they didn't have Aaron. Harrison Barnes is out. Bagley was out as well. I think he's been out though.
Well, Bagley doesn't really matter much, but
okay,
I understand.
I'm
just saying.
That's disrespectful. Bagley ain't a bad player. Don't do that.
All right, he ain't a bad player. You're right. But they needed De'Aaron bad, and even if they had De'Aaron, if this was to happen when De'Aaron was playing, just know
this could have been a 20-point blowout. 49 points though is not
Yeah. Just know De'Aaron one probably requested a trade if he was a part of that game.
Well, let's not. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the Jazz are the best team in the league, so I guess at least they lost to the Jazz and not like the Rockets.
Yeah.
But all right, no news from last night that we could remember. So it is prediction time for tonight's set of games. Only 5-game lineup. No, 6-game lineup. So let's get into it first. Starting off, the Mavericks going up against the Pistons.
I think you know the answer to that yourself.
Yeah, Pistons. Mavericks. Watch Pistons win now. The first primetime game of the night, NBA TV, 7 o'clock. The Brooklyn Nets going up against the Indiana Pacers. Karis LeVert against his former team. What you got?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. The Bucks going against the Rockets.
Milwaukee.
The Warriors coming off that embarrassment against the Mavericks, up against the Timberwolves.
I'm gonna actually choose the Wolves for this one. They've been playing very good, and they got most of their core intact. So I got the Wolves with this one.
Can't be upset with that, but I got the Warriors. The Pelicans going up against the Thunder.
Pels.
And lastly, the Raptors going up against the Nuggets.
Nuggets.
You laugh like that. Raptors ain't that bad.
I'm not saying they're that bad, but I don't know.
Yeah. I know, but I got the Nuggets. Yep, only one primetime game of the nights, which was 7:00. The Nets and the Pacers. So keep that in mind. All right, I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Sacramento basketball team. That kind of has a catchy phrase to it. You know what I mean? Actually, matter of fact, we should call them the Sacramento Pee Wee League or something like that. Something like that.
What? The Sacramento Pee Wee League? You mean the Sacramento Pee Wees?
Yeah, the Sacramento Pee Wees. Yeah, that's how we can describe it.
I don't want to get too disrespectful.
You're right.
I mean, they do have some quality NBA players on that team.
Well, hey man, look at. So you know what this means? Seattle Kings, man, the Seattle Super Kings.
Don't put that on the Kings. I mean, don't put that on the Supersonics. Please don't put that on the Supersonics.
Well, bro, look at. You see, Sacramento. Look at. This could be a time to potentially move one team to a different place because it's time for a change up. It's time for a different kind of change, a different kind of look up on the culture. Because let's be honest, I haven't heard anybody who played basketball that came out of Sacramento. Let's just be honest. Let's just change up the culture. It's time to change up the culture.
Came out of Seattle.
A lot of people: Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, Kevin Porter Jr., Jamal Crawford. Seattle's a basketball, it's a basketball mecca in terms of its players.
Okay, so now I'm gonna look up Sacramento.
Trust and believe you're not gonna find anybody from Sacramento who played
Sacramento basketball players.
They're gonna bring up people from the Kings. I swear they're gonna bring up people from the Kings. Put them on. Trust me.
Sacramento famous basketball players. Let's try that one. Famous basketball players from Sacramento. There we go. They bring up Chris Webber, Pedro Stojakovic, Mike. Well, hold on. Maybe they are from Sacramento.
Let me tell you something.
Hey, Kevin Johnson. Wasn't he the mayor?
Yeah, he's a legend. Okay. The one out of how many I just named for Seattle? 5, 6.
Ryan Anderson. He was a good role player.
Yeah, he was okay.
He's a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he was a really deadly 3-point shooter. I used to use him in 2K a lot. Yeah.
Matt Barnes, he was a good role player.
Oh, I forgot about Matt Barnes. Yeah.
We believe.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cartwright.
No, yeah, Bill Cartwright. Yeah, I give you Bill Cartwright. Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, yeah, you won. At the end of the day, listen, man, don't conjoin the Kings. Correction. The Sacramento team with the Supersonics team, okay? Leave the legacies apart. All right.
Hey man, if KC could switch up, I think the Kings could switch up and go to Seattle. Trust me. I mean, the Sacramento team could switch up and become the Seattle basketball team.
All right, but OKC have had some success. I mean, they had KD, Westbrook, Harden, Ibaka, and nothing to show for it, but they had some of those players.
Why say? He said, well, they had some great plays, but nothing to show for it. That's disrespectful.
Maybe that was. But they had some success. They've been to a final since then. You know what I'm saying? The Kings haven't been to. They have the longest playoff drought. The Suns had the second longest playoff drought. They just snapped that. The Kings have the longest playoff drought. Wow.
You're right. You're right. All right. But hey, man, Sacramento basketball. What a beautiful thing to watch, huh?
Wow. Anyway, I guess that is all for today. So thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also follow IG down in the description below.
And TikTok down in the description below.
And this into TikTok, sorry.
And once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind Basketball Podcast.
Sacramento.